Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing today? I hope you're all set for another story. Today, our story is about patience. Now, are you a patient person or are you an impatient person? What's your impression of patient people? Well, today our story is about a talented boy, but he's a little bit impatient. Let's follow me to the story and you'll find out what will happen to him. Once upon a time in a faraway land, a boy lived. He was very smart, but he was a little impatient. The school year was over and he was a hard-working person, so he wanted to go out and learn something. He went into the alleys and then he got to the bazaar. So when he was walking, suddenly he saw a pottery shop. He stood there and looked at the potter all the time. So after time passed, he liked pottery so much. So he decided to go to the pottery shop and ask the master to train for the job. He went there and he said, "Hi, master. I want to learn pottery. I like it a lot. Can you train me?" The master looked at him and smiled and said, "Yes, of course, but you have to know something. This work needs a lot of patience." The boy thought a little and then said, "Yes, I am a patient person. I can learn it." The potter said, "Okay, I will train you, but you have to know that the training starts the day after tomorrow." The boy was so surprised. He said, "Why the day after tomorrow? Why can't I just start today?" The man said, "Well, remember what I said about patience?" The boy said, "Oh, right. Okay, I will wait." That night, when he got to his house, he was so excited. He told his family all about it. You see, he did not have a poor family, but he was such a hard-working person that he always wanted to work and learn something. His dad was so happy that he was finally learning something, and he knew that through pottery, he can learn some patience. So, what do you think that will happen next? Stay with me and I will tell you. Welcome back. Now, if you remember, the boy wanted to learn pottery so bad. So, that night, he was staying awake and he couldn't sleep. He thought about all the beautiful dishes that he can make out of clay. So the next morning, he couldn't wait any longer. He went out and went to the pottery shop. The master was working really hard. Suddenly, he saw the boy. He looked at him through his small glasses and said, "What did I tell you about patience, young boy? You're here right now. What do you want?" The boy said, "Sorry, master, but I couldn't just wait. I like it so much." The master smiled and said, "Okay, but remember, the first day you have to just sit here and watch what I do." The boy said, "Okay, I will just watch, I promise." He sat there and looked at how the master worked. He was so surprised to see that how beautifully he worked. So time passed and passed and passed, and he got tired. He thought that it's so boring to sit here and watch the master all day. At first, he didn't want to say anything. He wanted to look patient. But then he got impatient and he said, "Master, I'm so tired. Can you give me some clay so I can work too?" The master said, "But you're not ready enough. You cannot do the things that I do." So the boy said, "No, I can't do that. I'm a fast learner." The master smiled and gave him some clay. The boy sat there so happily. He thought that I won't be bored anymore. I learned it so good, so I can do it. He started to make dishes out of clay, but he couldn't just do it. What was wrong? What do you think? Well, after 1 hour, his master said, "Okay, young boy, can I see what's your work?" The boy said, "I'm sorry, master, but I didn't make anything. I didn't know how to. I thought that I've learned enough." The master smiled and said, "I told you, you have to look, but you were so impatient." The boy said, "Okay, I will look. Can I come here tomorrow?" The master said, "Okay, come, and I will teach you how to make beautiful dishes out of clay." The next day, the boy went there, and this time he watched patiently. And he learned how to make beautiful dishes. Well, you think that the story is over? It's not so. I will be back, and I will tell you the rest of the story. Welcome back. Now, if you remember, the boy watched all day and learned how to make beautiful dishes out of clay. The next day, he made too many beautiful dishes, and the master put those into the furnace. He was so happy that he finally learned how to make dishes. They were so shiny and beautiful. So he kept up making more and more dishes, and the master was so happy as well. Now he could earn some money because the master gave him the money that he earned from selling the dishes. The boy was so proud of himself, and every day he went to work very happily. One day he thought to himself, "Now that I can make beautiful dishes, why don't I open my own shop?" He went to his father. His father knew that no matter how many times he told his boy that he wasn't ready, he wouldn't listen to him. So he said, "Okay, I will get you a little shop so you can make your own dishes there." He told about his decision to his master. The master was so surprised. He said, "But you're not ready. How can you make dishes?" The boy said, "No, you see, I'm really good at this, so I can make it." The master saw that the boy is so impatient, so he didn't say anything, and he agreed. The boy went to his own shop. At first, he was very happy. He started to work and he made beautiful dishes. But he had to color them and put them into the furnace, the work that his master had done. So he did so. In the morning, he woke up very excitedly and he went to the shop. Suddenly, he saw that all of the dishes are so dark and they're not shiny at all. He was so sad. He thought, "What is wrong? What did I do wrong?" He thought to himself, "Maybe I had put the dishes in the wrong place. So the next day, I will put them somewhere else." But the next day, it was as so. They were all dark and they didn't shine. The boy was so sad. This went on and on and on, until finally the boy was so tired. So he went to his master. The boy said, "I'm sorry, master, but none of my dishes are beautiful. At first, they are all perfect and looking fine, but after I color them and put them into the furnace, they are all cracked and dirty. What should I do?" What do you think that the master will say? Well, stay with me. I'll be back after a short break and I will tell you. Okay, my dear friends. Now, if you remember, the boy was so sad. Why he was sad, you ask me? Well, it was because his pots and dishes were not beautiful. They were not shiny and they were all dark and dirty. Well, he went to his master to see what was wrong. What was the answer of his master? Well, the master smiled and said, "You were so impatient, but you have to remember, before you put the pots into the furnace, you have to wipe the dust off. Always remember this." So the boy said, "Thank you, master. I didn't know it." The master said, "You had to be patient. You have to be patient to learn something completely." The boy said, "Yes, master, I know it now." So after that, he decided to close his shop and go to his master to learn more things about pottery. He spent days and days there and learned pottery at its best. He was very patient at the time, you see. So when he learned it and when he knew how to make beautiful dishes, he reopened his shop. This time, his pots and dishes were so shiny and beautiful. In no time, he became the best potter in the city. And he was so happy about it. And he was always grateful to his master. Well, did you like this story? I hope so. I'll be back after a short break. Don't go anywhere, and I will tell you the morals of the story. Alright, my dear friends, I'm here to tell you about the morals of the story. This story had 2 points. First, we have to learn to be patient to be successful and learn something. And second, we have to know that it's important to learn a skill. When we see someone is doing some work, it seems that it's so easy. But we have to know there are little points in every work, and we can't learn them if we're not patient enough. So, are you patient, my dear friends? I'm sure you are. So be patient, and tomorrow I will tell you a great story. Stay with me, and I will miss you so much. Take care of yourself. So long.